Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome, faculty members, honored guests. I'm Eric Lukowitz. I'm the president of the MCG Faculty Senate, and I have the privilege today of introducing our esteemed dean, Dr. David Hess. So, thank you.
Thank you very much, Eric. I want to welcome President Keene and First Lady Karen here. Thank you. We also have some other distinguished guests. We haven't had a commissioner of the Department of Public Health here before, but Kathleen Toomey, welcome. We're glad to have you. Teresa McCartney, the Vice Chancellor for Administration. Frank Smith, the Vice Chancellor for Real Estate and Facilities. And Chris O'Connell, okay, good, O'Connell, the Chief of Staff for the Commissioner. So thank you very much. I could spend a time welcoming the rest of you here, but don't worry, I'll get you during the talk if I don't get you now. So every time I've given one of these talks, I presented the vision for a statewide distributed academic health system. And now we're on that 2.0 or on steroids. And so now we're going to innovate with digital, virtual, and AI care. So we have a very old medical school, and none of you have been here this long. But it was started in 1828, and this is a class of 1876. And Charlie Howell was not in that class, but Charlie Howell came later. But we go back a long time. 13th oldest medical school. You know, there were 13 colonies. That's how you remember it. And in about 1910, Abraham Flexner, commissioned by the Carnegie Foundation, studied medical schools. And there were about 150 medical schools at that time. That's how many there are today. But most of those medical schools were proprietary, for profit, and the teaching was deplorable, as he said. So he came through, made a report, the Flexner Report in 1910, and many, many medical schools closed, like half of them. In fact, MCG almost closed. So we had to really do something. And basically what Flexner proposed was the Johns Hopkins model of an academic medical center with basic science teaching and research. And that's really continued to this day. So we are in a national treasure, or at least a state treasure. And there's only 125 true academic medical centers in the United States, at 2% of the hospitals. So we're fortunate to be here. This is uncommon. And while Europe has academic medical centers and China now has academic medical centers, they're not really present in the rest of the world. Now, one of the issues we have, there's only 2 in Georgia, and we have the same population of more than North Carolina, almost like Ohio. They have 5, we have 4. And so we only have 2. It's Emory, Grady, and us. This is where we train the majority of medical students, residents, fellows. It's a safety net hospital system. 5% of the hospitals provide 33% of charity and 27% of Medicaid. Most major research discoveries are here, and most FDA drugs are done by work performed in academic medical centers. 50% is a low estimate. Some people say it's 80%. So if we didn't have academic medical centers, we probably wouldn't have all the drugs we have right now. So there's a tripartite mission of education, clinical care, and research, right, shown there. Now, what we have, which is really unique, is a statewide system. We're distributed throughout the state. So big, hairy, audacious goal has really been our goal, is to make this throughout the state and have research at all our campuses. And so now with the WellStar merger, and my good friend Ralph Turner, the president here, Ralph, just raise your hand. If you don't know who Ralph is, there he is. Charlie Howell's next to him. You know, we're now part of a $7.5 billion health system. And that's where we are. We're throughout the state. Look at all those places, all those white dots. We have medical students. We have telehealth sites in the blue and yellow and red. We've got different campuses. You can see we've gerrymandered the state, but everything is covered. And there's almost an MCG student everywhere being trained right now. We can't say every county. There's 159 in Georgia, but in many of the counties. Now, this slide was generated by AI, I must say. I'll tell you when we generated by AI. And but we had to generate AI to get a good slide. But this is what we want to do next. So this is BHAG 2.0, or BHAG on steroids. And now's the time. And I think there's a great book called The Giant Leap, which was just published this month by Robert Wachter. I'm clean here. I'm not getting any kickbacks on this book, but you can get it for Kindle for about $17.99. And he's a doctor and he's a hospitalist at UCSF. And Jeff Talbert, I think, has read it, and Jeff Talbert likes it. But he talks about how this is, how AI is going to affect medical care, and it's going to affect medical education. We may need fewer doctors. Don't worry, doctors are not going to lose their jobs, but this may help us perform our jobs better. It should reduce workload. Who likes to do pre-authorizations here? It's the bane of our existence. Now we can do them by AI. The problem is the insurance companies use AI to reject our pre-authorizations, right? So we can do discharge summaries. That would really save a lot of time. Clinical data warehouse, we'll talk about that. We can have digital scribes. We already use DAX Copilot in clinic. It saves me a lot of time. It's not perfect, though. You have to edit it a lot. And we can have a digital twin. We could have one of our faculty members, like Bodie Dunlap, our new chair of psychiatry. We can make a twin of him, and it would be an image, and he could actually give advice based on what AI knows about him. And they know a lot about him, as we're going to show. So this is really kind of exciting. We have to be careful. Rural healthcare. Almost all AI systems are trained on the internet. They are not trained on rural health data. So that's a real problem we have. And Georgia's a very rural state. And then discovery science. If you heard the study of AlphaFold, this is DeepMind from Google. You can actually take the sequence of a primary protein sequence of the amino acids and predict the three-dimensional structure. That won the Nobel Prize in Chemistry in 24. A lot we can do. I don't have time to get into it all, but I would get this book. It's a good investment. Now, one of the reasons we're going to talk about how big our medical schools is we have a doctor shortage in Georgia. We rank 40th in just about everything. So if you're asked, where do we rank in Georgia for healthcare, physician supply, residents, just guess 40 and you're about right. It may be 39 or 41, but it's close. We actually have a low number of medical school slots for a public university. And we're 41th in the country, but there's 6 or 7 states that don't have a medical school, so it's even worse. These are all the counties. Half of our counties have an OBGYN. Look at the map on the right. Every health professional shortage area. It's called a HPSA. Remember that, a HPSA. It's going to be a post-test. And 90% of Georgia's counties are health professional shortage areas. So we've got a big problem. We've got to train more doctors. That's why our entering class of 304 students is the 3rd or 4th or 5th largest medical school in the country. But it's definitely the largest in the Southeast. We have a very, very large medical school. We also have an excellent medical school. We have our bicentennial coming up in 2028. All of you people in the front row there are invited. You're all invited, of course, but come back. Now, our backbone of MCG and our secret sauce is our regional campus system. So we have 9 campuses we're going to go to in 9 minutes. I don't know if we're going to make it. We got a great IT team, but we're going to fly around. You're going to see every regional campus if this all works. All right. So we're going to start with our first campus, Albany. Doug Patton is our dean. Kush Desai is our assistant dean. Kush Desai grew up in Columbus, went to MCG, did his residency at MCG, and is now the campus dean in Albany. So a basic principle, where you train is where you're likely to practice. So if you train in a rural hospital and you're likely to practice there, all right? And if you're from a rural area, you're more likely to go back there. So remember those 2 principles. That's what we're going to really focus on here. So Gordon, let's go to Albany. There they are. There's Doug Patton. There's his team.
Here today, we obviously didn't communicate clearly enough with our students that they needed to be here at this time. Thomasville's going to make up for that in a few minutes.
What are you going to do with those extra lunches?
We're going to have a great supper.
All right. All right. We can't promise perfection here, but at least you're seeing that's at Phoebe Putney, their classroom. Let's go on next. Let's go to next slide. Thomasville. I think our Vice Chancellor for Administration is from this area of the country. And Thomasville Archibald Health System is a 4-hospital system with hospitals in Grady County, Brooks County, and Mitchell County. And they've opened up their arms to take our medical students. So we started just January, 6 students are rotating in Archibald. There's Darcy Craven, great relationship. He's the CEO. There's Samantha McGowan. She does all the work. And then Dr. Patterson, Greg Patterson, is one of our former graduates. But they are so interested in medical education that they went and bought Thomas University over here. This building is only about 12 years old. beautiful Georgian architecture with columns, and they're actually renovated for medical education. And it's less than a mile from the campus. For golfers, this is the oldest golf course east of the Mississippi, Mr. Melcher. You like that? He's probably been there. So, really exciting. So we're going to go to Thomasville now. Gordon? There they are. Well, more students here than at Albany. So great. Do you want to just give a greeting?
Hello from Thomasville. We're excited to be here with our brand new Thomasville team. Dr. Santos is the program director for the internal medicine residency program and for the student program down here. We have Dr. Finland here with us, Dr. Dawson, Dr. Wolf, and 6 students who are super excited to be here. One of them said that Thomasville is the Paris of the Southwest. So they're excited to be here.
Yeah, well, great. Great to see you all. Don't go far. We will come back in a minute, okay? So we give awards out. So the Community Advocate Award is going to be Dr. Santos, who you just saw. Dr. Santos is involved in the internal medicine residency, which we're co-branding with him. And he's been a stalwart in getting us down there. He's a nephrologist, works hard, exercises hard. And so let's go back and give him his award, Gordon. All right. Stand up, Dr. Santos. I hope you have the speech prepared. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. I don't have words. Very kind.
And Dr. Dawson, say hello. Dr. Dawson is an MCG graduate and a neurologist. So welcome. We're glad to see you. So we have to go now because we have to go to 7 other campuses, but thank you very much. Now we're going to go to the Gold Dome, the state capitol. Now, we don't have a campus there yet, but we might. So we are going to give an award, an MCG Advocate Award there to Darlene Taylor. And Darlene Taylor is from Thomasville. She's been very, very helpful, not just for MCG, but in medical education. About her help. The other thing about Darlene Taylor is every year we have a Jekyll Island course where we train faculty. She not only came to it last year, but she stayed for every lecture. And there's a lot of distractions at Jekyll Island. And I'm not sure all the faculty had her attendance, but her attendance was phenomenal. So let's go to, there she is.
Thank you.
Gosh, congratulations.
Thank you so much. I'm honored. I'm very honored. Thank you. Thank you for all that you're doing and for what you're bringing healthcare to rural Georgia.
Well, thank you. You have been so helpful. We couldn't have done it without you. And I was telling them about Jekyll Island, how you went to every talk.
I did. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I'm a little sponge,
Yep.
soaking it all up.
All right. Well, thank you. We're going to move on, but thank you very much.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for all you do.
Thank you.
Okay, Savannah, 4-year campus in Savannah. And this campus was 40 students going up to 50. There's Elizabeth Gray, the dean. I can't go through all the people. Those are our students. I gave you a book recommendation. Now you're going to get the restaurant recommendation that no one knows about unless you're from Savannah. Castaways. They actually coasted and provided our crab cakes for our grand opening. So patronize them. The owner's daughter may want to go to MCG too, he told me. So let's go to Savannah. There they are. Look at this. Hey, Savannah. So they are at the Armstrong campus of Georgia Southern. And this is a collaboration between Georgia Southern, us, and also the St. Joe's Candler Health System, which we'll come back to later. Anything to say, Falami? Or Elizabeth? I didn't see Elizabeth.
Elizabeth is right here.
Sorry,
All I can say
Elizabeth.
is that we're not eating crab cakes today, but we are eating delicious food, and we have the best students in the state.
Okay, well, we're going to have to move on. All right. Next, Brunswick. So you go down the coast, and Brunswick is kind of a sub-hub of Savannah. But Steve Chitty's an MCG graduate, critical care doctor. He's the dean, and Dr. Craig Loudon is an ED doctor. He's the assistant. Unfortunately, he's overseas, but Steve Chitty should be. This is a beautiful hospital in a beautiful area. It's on the Golden Isles. So a very popular campus, a very popular place to do rotations. And there they are. Steve Chitty, hello. Hi, students.
Hey, Dr. Hess.
Great to see you. How's it going, Steve?
It's going great. All our third years are testing today. So we have some fourth years with us today, and Dr. Loudon is in South America.
Yeah. So how do the students, do you like the campus there?
Love it.
It's amazing.
All right, good. All right. Okay, we're going to go next place, Gordon. We will go to Rome. Now, Rome is, in the Northwest, and Paul Brock there on the top, that's his son's house. And Paul Brock is our only faculty member and only campus dean that has a bill named after him. The Brock bill is actually going to the legislature now. It has to do with getting better access for physicians and medical students to health systems, help with credentialing. And this is the birthplace of our longitudinal integrated curriculum, which means students follow patients, for example, a patient with cancer or a pregnant woman all through their third year. And so it's a relatively novel, it wasn't developed here, but it was really brought here at the Northwest campus, and now it's used at multiple campuses. So we're going to go to them. Look at that. They have glamour photos of everybody. Look.
No, those represent the students who trained on this campus who've come back to Rome or the state of Georgia. There are 28 of them on the walls.
Isn't that amazing? That's why if you train in a place, you're going to practice in a place. That's the whole point here. That's the whole theme here. Thank you very much. Students, how do you like Dr. Brock? I didn't tell him I was going to ask this. I knew it. All right.
I pay him
But
a lot.
I thank you. Name the other faculty there, Paul. Just introduce the other faculty.
I've got Billy Chaco, who is our internal medicine clerkship director, and this is Bradley Cagle, one of our own, who has come back to practice radiology in Rome now, and he's here today too.
Great story. Great story. Where were you born in Rome?
Just remember, it's not Northwest, it's Northwest.
Okay, Northwest. Our deans are very, very competitive. Very competitive. Well, thank you. We got to move on just a little bit north of you now. So now we're going to go to Dalton. Now, Dalton is smaller, but it's growing. Vitruvian Health, part of Hamilton Medical Center. That's Dixon Freeman, our campus dean there. Now, Dixon Freeman, if anybody gets this, who doesn't already know this, you're going to get some kind of prize, maybe an extra lunch. He does a sport that is in the present Olympics, the Winter Olympics. What sport do you think he does? We're going to ask him and find out. How did you know that? Curling. Oh, how did you know that, Ringer? Jeez, curling. He's a curler. First person I ever met. Oh, wait. I didn't let you go there. Gordon? All right. Did you hear? Tell us about curling briefly.
Oh, it's been a great year for curling. The U.S. has done very well in the current Olympics, and I think the whole world's been a little bit captivated by a minor controversy that's happened this year. So yes. It's a good year to be a curler.
Well, students, how is it going in Dalton? Very open-ended questions. They're well trained. Good. But thank you very, very much. Dalton is the carpet country of the world and the flooring. If you have flooring and carpet in your house, it probably comes from Dalton. Now we're going to go to Wellstar, one of our newest campuses. This is the ribbon cutting where President Keene and Karen successfully cut the ribbon. But what's key is Stephanie Hayes on the left is there, and then Ahmed Shatoui actually was born in Kennestone. He's over there. And this is a test question. You already met him. That's Ralph Turner. This is Mr. Morgan, who's chair of the board. And of course, there's Chancellor Perdue. And this is Louis Lovett, who you'll see in a minute. So this is Ahmed again. Louis Lovett has been a critical care doctor. He's been with Wellstar a long time, was working in graduate medical education. Usha Anand is the assistant dean. And we expect this campus to really expand because about 60% of our students are from the Atlanta area. And the first day of class, I always go in and I ask, where are you from? And I say, how many are from the Atlanta area? About 60% of the hands go up. How many are from the Ettas? Alpharetta and Marietta, and about half the hands stay up. So we get a lot of students from this part of the state. So it's great to have a campus there. Let's go there. There they are. Louis, you want to say a word? I know that we had a little trouble with the microphone yesterday, but
Yes, I'd like to start out by, and I know we're short on time, but I do want to say a few things, and that is, first, credit goes to you, Dr. Hess. I want President Keene to hear this, because without you, really, we couldn't have had this beautiful video that we're seeing right now. Through you, we were able to get Brandon and Brian, who are audiovisual technicians, to come and fix our smart board, and they were here till 9 o'clock last night doing it. So I just want to thank them and thank you personally for that. Secondly, we just want to express our gratitude and appreciation to you and to President Keene and Augusta University for this beautiful space that we have and this opportunity to train these wonderful students. Our first cohort began on January 12th. They just completed their first rotations and took their shelf exams, and by all accounts, it seems like things are going well. So, and to my right, as you mentioned, is our Assistant Dean, Dr. Anand. And thank you again. We're very, very appreciative, very excited about this campus.
thank you very much. We wish we could spend more time, but we got to move on. Thank you. All right, now we're going to the partnership campus. So the good news, congratulations to UGA. This last Friday, they were granted preliminary accreditation by LCME. So there'll be a new University of Georgia Medical School, but it's a little complicated because according to the LCME, if you admit a student, they got to graduate from your medical school. So the classes of 27, 28, and 29 will remain partnership or MCG students. So Shelley's got 2 jobs. She's juggling 2 jobs. So let's go quickly to Athens. There you go.
Well, I think we saved the best for last. What about my team here and our students? So anyway, but thank you guys so much. Thank you, David, for the congratulations. A lot of exciting things happening here, though, at the medical partnership, and just want to thank you and everyone for your support in this transition. And we've got amazing students here, and they make us smile every day. And we're so excited about match day coming up here in a few weeks, and then graduation. So again, thank you guys so much. And it's an honor to serve here in both capacities. So anyway, thank you, David.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We're going to move on. Congratulations again. So we really do have excellent students, as you're going to see. So we're going to go now to the next campus, which is, we call the Middle East. You've seen the Southeast, that was the Northeast. Now you're going to go to the Middle East. And here's our academic team, which are phenomenal. We couldn't have a better academic affairs team than we've got. We're going to increase 50 students here next year because Athens is going to take 60 away. So we're going to add 50 here and 10 in Savannah. If we didn't do that, we would have no net students. But now we have 60 more net students, public medical students for the state of Georgia. So we are going to go, here's our class. We get great ingredients. These students are not just academically excellent with high MCAT scores and high GPAs, but they have very good soft skills. And we interview them, make sure of that. Women outnumber men a little bit. That's a national trend. But this is where they're going to go. So let's now go. We have a bunch of them collected over in the Harrison building. There you go. Thank you. I'm glad they fed you. All right, good. Jennifer Tucker, do you want to say a word?
I wasn't expecting to have to say a word, but we've got the best students here in Augusta. And yes, Dr. Nuss, we did save the best for last.
We have healthy competition, so which is good. So thank you. Commissioner Toomey, you will go and see, you'll be going over there pretty soon. That's not too far from here. Okay. So we have a big class, an excellent class. We have very innovative curriculum. So back before the pandemic started, we didn't plan it this way because we rolled this out during the pandemic. We changed our whole medical school to be able to graduate in 3 years. Now, very few people graduate from medical student in 3 years, but Charlie Howell did. Keep coming back to, he graduated in 3 years, right? And then they stopped the program. I don't know what happened, but we brought it back. And we have 4 pathways, which are really personalized for the students. So the Peach State Scholar, you get your tuition paid if you practice in one of those HPSAs, those health professional shortage areas. You got to go to primary care specialty. Advanced residency prep is what most students do. Dual degree. So Commissioner, we give, in collaboration with our School of Public Health and Teresa Waters, we have a combined MPH program. We have 16 students in it this year. We also have a combined MD MBA program, 8 students. Then we have a research track because research is extremely important. So we have some students, that's our newest pathway. So we have a lot of options. Here's the 3+ Peach State Scholars. We now have an endowment of about $56 million of public-private partnership. Thank you, the state of Georgia. Thank you, Peach State Health. And this is the last class. There's 1 student missing. We have 13 in this class. The economic impact calculated from this program is $7.2 million a year when these students get out and practice. So it has huge return on investment. Here are all of our Peach State Scholars. None of them have finished residency yet because you have to do your residency in Georgia. And then you have to practice in Georgia for the number of years we give you a scholarship. This year, we'll have some of them graduate, but you can see the diversity of students we have and the diversity of specialties. This will be a primary care specialty, but we want to expand this to all specialties because every specialty is short in Georgia. Now, as I said before, if you train in a place, you're likely to practice in a place. But if you're from a place, you're really likely to go back. So if you're from a place, train in that place, you're likely to go back. So Kelly Braun, our fantastic Dean for Admissions, and Scott Barman, her fantastic assistant, have come up with programs. And Kelly, congratulations, is an ELAM scholar. Annette Johnson did that. It's a leadership training, and her project is Assurance in Medicine. So what she's done is she identifies students in colleges that don't normally come to medical school, particularly Coastal Carolina. I think this is the first or second student admitted from there, Columbus State and AU. And we start working with them when they're rising juniors, give them MCAT prep, mentorship, how to be a physician, and then we get them into medical school. So it's just a little boost to help them. They still have to meet tough criteria. It's not easy. But we're doing this and we're continuing to expand this. And thank you to President Keene for funding that last year. And this funding was rapidly used and we already have a return on your investment. The regional campus pathway is a way to, at the time of admission, to try to have students choose if they want to go to the Southwest campus. I should say South Best they think they are, and North Best, where they want to go. And so they get to choose then. And that's a factor in admissions. It's not an overwhelming factor, but it's a factor that we consider. And I won't have time to go through the last one in the interest of time. But so we're doing this at admissions. We're looking at geography upon admissions and then during training. Now, federally qualified health centers, I bet half of you don't even know what that is. And it is the most important primary care network in the nation that no one knows about in the state of Georgia. So these are really focused on primary care, mostly family medicine, but they have some specialties. And that map is a map of the federally qualified health centers, everything in color that we have affiliations with. And that's a lot of work. So we have affiliations and students are going to all these federally qualified health centers. And this is absolutely important because the federally qualified health centers need physicians, right? And then our students can train kind of in the real world. There's studies that show if you look at 1,000 people that have medical symptoms a month, only one of them ends up in an academic medical center. So we see a very rarefied subset of people with clinical symptoms. Most of them are going to their local doctor. Most of them are going to Dave Ringer and his group we're going to get to. They're going to go to primary care doctors. Now, this is a tremendous amount of work, and we said, who can get all these affiliation agreements? And we turned to the Wonder Woman, Ashley Saucier, and hopefully she's here. She's not in clinic still. Ashley? There, come on up. So Ashley is a disciple of Joe Hobbs. Joe, put your hand up at least, Joe. I want to make you stand up. All right. And she's a family physician, community medicine, and she went ahead around and got all these affiliation agreements. You've been to all these FQHCs. So we really want to give her a round of applause, another round of applause. I was worried she wasn't going to get here because she had clinic. Now, you probably never heard about an FQHC. Now you're going to see an FQHC physician. And it's Dave Ringer. Come on up, Dave, and get your award. Dave is an MCG graduate, also trained by Joe Hobbs, family physician. And he's the old school. Not only does he do outpatient, but he does inpatient. You run the hospitals program at Good Samaritan Hospital. And I know Charlie Howe was trying to steal some of your doctors just a while ago, wasn't he? But, you know, it's competitive. And he was a teacher of yours. And then your lovely wife, and you have 6 children. I don't know how you do it, and I don't know how your wife does it. But thank you very much. Just give them a round of applause. These are really the heroes of modern medicine, people working in the FQHCs. Now, graduate medical education, we have a shortage of residents in Georgia. And, you know, we rank 40th, as I said, 40th in the country. But one thing that was really very, very positive, Wellstar MCG got called rural designation for CMS. Now, this is very confusing. There's many rural designations. This is one for CMS. And it's a way that you get your cap increased. So our cap, residents are capped. We were capped at 300. We were only going to get paid for 300 residents, even if we had 500 or 600 like we had. But by doing this, literally almost overnight, not quite overnight, but over a few months, our cap increased by 30% to 390. Not only that, but even better, all new residents, if we started a new residency, we wouldn't get $1 from CMS. But if you're a rural designation, you get paid by CMS for all new programs. So we started a new program in vascular surgery, a number of other programs. So all these are allowing us to increase our resident count, if you look to the right, by essentially little cost, if any cost. And I'd like to thank Wellstar for being very, very supportive of this. So this has really allowed us. So this is where we're projected to be. So we're going to increase our residency slots to over 800, and I suspect we'll pass that. This is a conservative estimate. Not only doing it here, but we're going to our regional campuses. So there's not a lot of hospitals left in Georgia that are called naive hospitals. It's kind of a funny term, naive. The other term is virgin, which is worse. But these hospitals have never had residents in them. So CMS will pay them if they start new programs. They'll pay the residents. So we work with Paul Hinchy, good friend, longest reigning CEO in Georgia, and a huge advocate of MCG and medical education. Natasha Savage, is Natasha here? Natasha is the star DIO. She's going to be their graduate medical education director. And then we had to hire an internal medicine director. So we hired John Sinicola from Harrisburg. He doesn't know what to do in this weather today, 80 degrees. It's February. He's from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. So he's working to develop this. So we're going to grow 100 new residents. First resident will be there at 27, internal medicine. Then we're going to have family medicine. We're going to have surgery. And then we're going to have cardiovascular fellowships. So this is all in our system. And who knows, maybe more, but this is at least the start. So we're doing all this planning. First internal medicine resident should be there next July. This will help the residency shortage and the doctor shortage in Georgia. Now, we've recruited 3 new chairs. And so I just want to tell you about them. So Bodie Dunlap, who's sitting there, just raise your hand, Bodie. Hopefully he'll still be talking to me in a few minutes. He joined us from Emory August 1st, where he ran the mood and anxiety disorders program and the adult psychiatry outpatient one. We did a national search, and he was just tremendous and really stood out. But we also did ChatGPT to learn more about him. And if you want to do this to your spouse or your colleague, it's very easy to do. Just upload a slide. And what they said about him, we didn't copy the text, it was too much. He's the Sherlock Holmes of psychiatry. And you wonder, why are there mushrooms? I don't want to get him in trouble, but psilocybin, he's an expert in psychedelic drugs in treatment of mood disorders. And they're going to probably be approved, you told me, for depression maybe, and PTSD? Depression first. So he is one of the world experts in this. And that's why all this stuff's here. And he only does these in clinical trials and FDA-approved work. So that's Dunlap. He's great to have here, and we really appreciate you being here. Next is Steve Shiver. I think I saw Steve here. Steve grew up in Albany, Georgia, and was here a long time, almost became a surgeon, saw the light and came back to become an ED doctor. You've run the residency program. And Ralph Turner would agree, and Charlie, that he has just been great in the ED. He has raised our patient satisfaction scores. Julie Moretz can attest for this, the goddess of patient satisfaction and patient experience. He has raised them tremendously. I can't even put the numbers. They're so phenomenal. Nobody would believe them. And this is Steve for ChatGPT. I think that gets him. He's always in the ED, right? And he's always working. And it's really hard in EDs because they're crowded. There's not enough beds. They're overwhelmed. And he does a tremendous job. Next, we have Jeff Talbert. So one of the themes here is AI and digital health and virtual care. So Jeff Talbert, that's his ChatGPT, Jeff. I didn't show you this yet. I don't know if you think that's any good. You're an AI expert, so you can criticize this. But he came September 1st. We started a new department of AI and health. Ravi Kohli led the search. I see Stefan was on it. I think Teresa Waters. He was an overwhelmingly favored. He came here. He came from the University of Kentucky. He's been very, very well funded. But what's interesting, Commissioner, is that he did this rapid actionable data for opioid research in Kentucky called RADAR. And what he used public health information databases that allowed him to predict with AI where there'd be opioid overdoses. And this was actionable data, so they could predict ahead of time where the overdoses would be and action it. He says he can do the same thing with maternal mortality, which would be wonderful. So this is the things we can do with data and data science. And this is what he's doing. This is very complicated. Now there won't be a post test on this, but one of the reasons we hired Jeff is that he had done this in a CTSA, Clinical Translational Science Award up at University of Kentucky. He was the leader in this. And we worked with Wellstar for something called Data for Good, where now that we're on Epic, we're all on Epic, we're going to take that Epic data, all right, de-identify it, and then we're going to link it to imaging data, genomics data, and other data. And then we're going to basically use NVIDIA boxes. You probably heard about NVIDIA. It's valued at 500 trillion or something. Just this last week, we decided we would actually do the NVIDIA boxes and put the clusters here in our modular data center, which is phenomenal, by the way. We toured it. So it would come over by pipe from Wellstar, and then we could actually use this data. The reason this is important, a lot of AI is on the public internet. This would be on Wellstar patients and our patients. So you get, much better data that's better for our decision making. There's a lot you can do this with clinical care. You can see how drugs do in the real world. The possibilities are endless. In fact, Jeff already has a stream of people come into his office. I don't know how he gets anything done because everybody wants to meet with him with their ideas. So he's hiring people. We had a good candidate here yesterday who can take an EKG signal and predict your risk of heart failure in the next 3 years. Pretty phenomenal. So the stuff you can do with AI is just breathtaking. Now, Wellstar MCG emphasis on digital health. I wanted Matt Lyon to be here, but Matt Lyon is doing a course in Savannah today. But we have an established, you saw this before, this established network of rural hospitals and other hospitals where we provide tele-ED coverage, tele-ICU, tele-stroke, tele-OB. Jeff Switzer and his group do tele-stroke. And this is phenomenal. And one of the nice things about merging with Wellstar is Wellstar has embraced digital and virtual care. And you have to in a rural state. So here's Matt Lyon, and these are his rural hospitals. Matt has got a great relationship with rural hospitals. The only harder job than working in an FQHC may be being a rural hospital CEO, because you usually have, you agree, Dave, usually have about 3 or 4 days of cash on hand, and all you need is bad weather or a bad EMR implementation, and you're bankrupt. But Matt has done a great job. Candler Hospital is really a case presentation. This hospital was really headed toward financial problems. And because they couldn't keep hospitals. Well, the thing about telehealth is you can keep a lot of hot patients in the rural hospitals if you do follow-up consults on them. And so that is why these hospitals love and worship Matt Lyon. And because he goes and talks to them and talks their language. So it's not that you're drawing everybody out of a rural hospital. You're bringing the people out who really need to come, that need tertiary and quaternary care. But the other patients, you stay and manage there. So this is really the model of our digital care network. And we're going to have a fully digital hospital at Columbia County. Ralph, we just toured that. And we're going to have Hello Care, which is a virtual system in every single patient room. I hope I never get sick and have to be hospitalized, but that's where I want to be hospitalized. Because then I can look up and I'll see Matt Lyon. And you could have any teleconsult. It could be Brian Annex. It could be a cardiologist. It could be a lot of people. And here's the rooms. It's going to open in, I think, the end of August. The MOB is a little bit behind. exit 190 Gateway Boulevard if you want to drive by it. Valera Hudson usually has, she must be away, but Charlie Howell, raise your hand too. Charlie and Valera are known as really the pediatricians in Georgia. And we got a big donation from Tom Golisano, $50 million donation to do a lot of exciting things with this hospital. I just wanted to mention that. I don't have time to go into it much further, but this is super exciting and great for childcare, great for MCG, great for Wellstar. Now, people and relationships are everything. I can't come back to this. This is our joint operating committee. We meet every week, usually on Thursday. There's 4 from MCG, 4 from Wellstar. We're not against each other. The Wellstar is in purple. We actually work together and we agree on almost everything, don't we, Ralph? And I want to acknowledge other people. Jennifer Miller has been a key ally between the university and the health system since she's been here. Nelson So is the COO out there. CeCe Turner is the CFO. And Juan Guzman is the new COO. And Juan has been really running his mouth because he came from Indiana. And he came from Indiana University Health System. And so that's Juan. But he's great. Unfortunately, he can't be here because he has to do training at Atlanta, right? Yeah, but that's Juan. Just tell him we did recognize him. Now, NIH budget. So this was the most traumatic year I've had with the NIH. The uncertainty, the threats to reduce the indirect rate to 15%, constant holdup of grants, cancellation of grants. It's been a really tough year. The good news is finally Congress has approved the budget for next year, and there's no cuts to the indirect rates. So this is good. But you know, NIH lost a lot of people. A lot of people lost their jobs. The other really good news is this guy, Eric Kern. Eric, just stand up. Eric came from South Florida. He's the AVP for sponsored programs. He is phenomenal. I think we've all, you know, he came here January 12th, and I don't know how many times I've talked to you. I've asked you for about 10 favors, 2 more this today. So thank you. But he's really savvy. He's seen it all. He's also, the only thing some people are worried about is that he is a pilot and he has a hangar, but he's going to have, we think, the first car plane in Augusta, right? You're on order? He hopes. Okay. So we just don't want anything to happen to Eric, but he's fantastic. Now, David Munn sitting in the front. You know, this is the quintessential academic medical. This can only be done in academic medical centers. What I'm going to tell you about. This can't be done anywhere else. And this is David Munn, who's sitting in the front row, and he's going to be our interim director of the Cancer Center when Dr. Cortez, who we're going to miss, is leaving the end of March. But way back in 1998, and I remember that he had an article published in Science with Andy Mallour, where they discovered the role of this enzyme called IDO in the tolerance of pregnancy. They turned this around and inhibited it as a cancer immunotherapy. And the beautiful thing about this drug, it has very few side effects compared to other drugs. And so he works closely with Ted Johnson. Now, if you look at his tie, you know what kind of specialty he is. He's got to be a pediatrician, right? Look at that tie. And so he's a pediatric oncologist, did his MD, PhD here. David, you work not far from the house you were born in, right? Yep, that's right. And MCG graduate, MCG all over him. He's as MCG as Charlie Howell is. You know, I'm a Yankee transplant and I'm adopted, but these guys are naturally born here. And it's wonderful. So they're going to have this drug approved in just a matter of time. And the reason I put this up is there's 4 types of translational research. The only ones you can do at academic medical centers are the only ones that could be done really at academic medical centers. There's TO and T1. You can't really do these in community hospitals. So the discovered here, did early phase clinical trials here. Now you're in late phase clinical trials at illustrious places like MCG, Children's Hospital, Dana-Farber. So the best hospitals in the country, but it's being led here. This will eventually be approved. Then we can get into other systems and eventually get this, you know, globally. Because the nice thing about this, it doesn't have a lot of side effects. And what they're treating is kids with refractory brain tumors who they've given up on. You've got them from 3 or 4 foreign countries, I think 36 states. Ralph, we just reviewed that. So Ralph's happy. We're all happy. This is just a tremendous program. We should give him a round of applause, him and Ted Johnson. They covered the clock. So we're going to move here fast. So we had enough slides to take up 20 minutes, but I had to condense it. So I can't talk about everybody, but there's so much great research going on here. This is just some of it. And this one I really want to focus on. Brian Annex, raise your hand. Brian, this is a real achievement. A Leduc Foundation grant. These are transatlantic grants. And this one, usually you have to have a North American coordinator, which is Dr. Annex. Then you have to have a European coordinator, which will be Dr. Rohrberg, University College London. And there's only 3 of these given out this year. And an $8.5 million grants, and these are all his collaborators. But the important thing is, look at the disease he's studying, peripheral arterial disease. That is a huge problem. You know what Georgia's known as? The stroke belt, the dementia belt, and the amputation belt. And Dave Ringer knows it all. He sees it all. So this is tremendous. And there's not a lot of people studying peripheral arterial disease who are cardiologists. It's called the ARTIST. So thank you, Brian. This is great for MCG. We're a top 10 school in AHA funding. This is phenomenal. More than Emory, but more than a lot of schools in the country. Top 10 in the country in AHA funding. We're listed alongside institutions like Stanford, UAB, Hopkins. And Jennifer Sullivan, who's not here, she's actually doing a graduate program, I think, review in Baton Rouge. She just got a $4.4 million grant to study immunorenal disease in women. And this is part of the strategically focused research number. We've had other ones of these. We just had a cardio-oncology one. But her other 2, what they do is they usually have 3 or 4 centers. The other centers are Mass General and Ohio State. So we basically hit with the best of them. You know, we're with illustrious institutions. And then Immunology Center of Georgia, Klaus and Lynn are GRA eminent scholars. You guys have hired all these people. You can see their sense of humor. I didn't know we had a faculty member this young until we put this picture up, but it's a very family-oriented retreat. Everybody brings their kids. These are probably this is the highest powered, youngest immunology center anywhere, I think. And I'm not going to, compare it anywhere, but we had a great outside speaker from Yale. That's another great one. We had a packed room yesterday listening to a fellowship talk, which was funded by Klaus and Lynn in honor of their mothers. So they contribute back to the university. GRITS, we're working on a clinical translational science where I'd like to show you these maps because a lot of health is not always health care. We always assume that they're the same, but they're not. Most of health is socioeconomic and behavior and what's your behaviors. And all these green areas are where the greener you are in this map, greener is usually better, but not here. The way these maps are made, greener is worse. So this is the stroke belt, the dementia belt, the amputation belt. It cuts through here, cuts through southeast Georgia and southwest Georgia, goes into Alabama. And so we're really focusing on rural healthcare in this Clinical Translational Science Award. Our partner is GSU. We work with the public health departments. We work with FQHCs. We work with WellStar hospitals. We're all over the state. And we hope to get this funded as soon as NIH gets us the submission date and we can submit it. Lastly, we're getting near the end. We do a lot of community focused research. This is Christy Ledford, and Christy Ledford has developed this crane. This is an extension of our family medicine extension service that Joe Hobbs started. And basically what she does is she gets the communities involved in planning the research and designing the research so they participate in the research. If somebody comes in from the outside, rural communities are naturally very suspicious. So this is huge. She's got a number of PCORI grants, and they recently got a $200,000 NIH Build Up Trust Challenge looking at athletic trainers in the community and the school. So wonderful. And this is in collaboration with the Hub, which is just down the street. So we're going to have a new building here, Vice Chancellor Smith. So this is this is the final design. I just want to show you something we put up there. This is just a spitball we put up. It'll be on Laney Walker Road. How many people here think we need a new research building? Yeah, every researcher, because we're out of space. So we desperately need it. We've been working with architects. We expect this to be occupiable in the spring of 2029 and construction in 2027. We're still working on the design concept, but this is exciting. We desperately, desperately need this, right? Because we're out of space. 6,000 square feet of space is all we got left for dry lab expansion. So to end, this is our vision. It's our distributed network, now enabled by AI and digital health, virtual health, and we can do it. We've got the horses here. We got Matt Line, we got Jeff Talbot, we got all of you, and this is where medicine's going. We can take advantage of it. It's not going to replace us. And I want to thank, we've got the best students in the country, we've got the best faculty, but a lot of times we don't recognize our staff, right? Now, had I tried to myself on my computer gone to all these hospitals, it would have been a total disaster. But our IT team, which is Isaac, Brantley, Stefan, Gordon, look at the MCG shirt, I think he's wearing it today, William, and everybody knows Daryl. He'll do anything for a Coca-Cola. So I want to thank them, and I mean, give them a hand. And I also want to thank so the people that organized this were Crystal, raise your hand, Crystal, and Tamika, she's probably back working, and then Nikki helped with the slides. So if you don't like your ChatGPT, it's all Nikki's fault. But she likes to remain behind the scenes. So thank you very much. It's been great having you here, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate what you're doing. I would not want to be in the trenches with any other group of people except for you. So thank you very much.